Something has shifted in America. Women are dressing up, going out, sending so-called signals, and still walking home alone. They post TikToks crying about it. They ask, where did all the confident men go? Well, here's the truth. Men didn't vanish. Men evolved. Men saw the game for what it is and realized the rules no longer benefit them. Approaching a woman today isn't the same as it was 10, 20 years ago. Back then, it was a risk worth taking. Today, it's a gamble that can cost your reputation, your money, your dignity, even your freedom. So let's break it down. Here are 5 reasons why modern men in America stopped approaching modern women. Reason number 1, fear of false accusations. Approaching a woman in America today isn't just about confidence. It's about risk management. Men are not just risking rejection anymore. They are risking their entire reputation, their career, and in some cases, even their freedom. Think about it. One misinterpreted word, one awkward compliment, or one joke taken the wrong way, and suddenly you are labeled a creep, a harasser, or worse. And in today's climate, the accusation alone is enough to destroy you. Even if it's 100% false, your name doesn't have to end up in court. All it takes is one TikTok clip, one Instagram story, one tweet saying, "This guy made me uncomfortable." In minutes, your face can go viral. Employers see it, family sees it, your entire social circle sees it. You are guilty in the court of public opinion before you even open your mouth to defend yourself. And let's be real, society doesn't care about men's innocence. They care about the drama. They care about the clicks. Women know this. Men know this. That's why guys are backing off. It's not because men don't want to connect. It's because the price of simply saying hello is higher than ever. In today's world, approaching the wrong woman can ruin your life. And smart men know it's not worth rolling those dice. Reason number 2, social media changed the game. Once upon a time, a woman's beauty and options were limited to her environment, her school, her neighborhood, her social circle. If you were the sharpest guy in the room, you had a shot. If you worked hard, built yourself up, and carried confidence, women noticed. But social media shattered that reality. Now the average girl with 500 followers has more validation than entire generations of women before her. One selfie, one TikTok post, and she's drowning in attention. DMs from random guys, likes from simps, comments from men around the world calling her queen, goddess, perfect. What does that do to her perception of men? It warps it. She's no longer comparing you, the regular guy who lives down the street, to the men in her actual world. She's now comparing you to NBA players, millionaires, influencers, rappers, and blue-check dudes who flood her inbox daily. Social media turned every average woman into a celebrity in her own head. And when that happens, reality shifts. To her, you are invisible, unless you measure up to the fantasy she's fed every day through her phone. Why would a man walk up to a woman at Starbucks when he knows she has a whole digital fan club hyping her up 24/7? Why risk a face-to-face rejection when she's already got 10 dudes in her DMs by lunchtime? Social media killed the incentive for men to approach, because women are not living in reality anymore. They are living in a curated fantasy, where validation is endless and attention is currency. So what happened? Men adapted. Instead of chasing, they withdrew. Instead of playing the fool in her highlight reel, they started focusing on themselves. And that's why women today are dressed up, waiting, smiling, giving green lights, and still going home alone. Because when every woman has a digital army of orbiters, she doesn't just raise her standards, she makes approaching in real life feel pointless. Men got the memo, and that's why the silence is deafening. Reason number 3, the gym in public spaces became hostile. The gym used to be a place where men and women could naturally connect. You see someone attractive, you smile, maybe you offer a spot, maybe you strike up a casual conversation between sets. That was normal. That was human, but not anymore. Now, the gym is one of the most dangerous places for a man to even acknowledge a woman. Why? Because of cameras, TikTok clout, and a culture that demonizes male presence. Scroll through social media and you will see it. Videos of men being secretly recorded, labeled as creeps, just for glancing for half a second. No fairness, just a narrative designed to shame men publicly. Women build entire followings off gym creep videos, destroying men's reputations for likes and views. Men saw this, and they learned. Now, men walk into gyms with blinders on, headphones in, eyes down, zero interaction. Not because they have lost confidence, but because they have lost trust. Men have lost trust, knowing that even their smile can be twisted, and their glance screen recorded and plastered online. And it's not just gyms. This hostility bleeds into coffee shops, malls, bookstores, sidewalks. Places that used to be natural spots for men and women to meet are now minefields. A man says good morning on the street, and suddenly he's accused of harassment. A man compliments a woman in line at Starbucks, and she blasts him on Instagram for being thirsty. Public spaces became hostile because modern culture told men, "Don't talk to me. Don't look at me." So men listened. They stopped approaching. They stopped interacting. They stopped risking humiliation, shaming, or being mischaracterized. And here's the irony. Now those same women cry on TikTok, saying, "Where are all the confident men? Why doesn't anyone approach anymore?" The answer is simple. You turned public spaces into battlefields, then wondered why no one shows up. Men are not retreating out of weakness. They are retreating out of strength. They have realized their time, their peace, and their reputation are too valuable to gamble in a culture waiting to villainize them. The silence isn't cowardice, it's strategy. Reason number 4, feminism redefined masculinity as toxic. There was a time when being a man meant something like strength, courage, leadership, ambition, the will to protect and provide. Those were the pillars of masculinity. Men were not ashamed of being men. Society respected those traits because they built nations, defended families, and created the very infrastructure we all live in today. But modern feminism flipped the script. It didn't just demand equality. It rebranded masculinity itself as a problem. Words like patriarchy, toxic masculinity, and male privilege became everyday weapons to shame men for simply being who they are. Think about it. Traits that once made a man admirable, such as being assertive, being competitive, taking charge, are now labeled controlling, arrogant, or oppressive. A man who shows confidence is labeled cocky. A man who leads is labeled domineering. A man who flirts is labeled creepy. The natural masculine drive to pursue is framed as predatory. And men heard the message loud and clear. So what happened? Men backed off. They withdrew. They went silent. Because if society tells you your masculinity is toxic, why would you risk putting it on display? Why would you approach a woman when just your presence can be painted as harassment? Here is the irony. While feminism shouted, "Men are trash," and "we don't need men," the very same women now complain, "Where are the real men? Where are the leaders? Where are the confident ones?" Well, here's the truth. They are still here. They didn't disappear. They just stopped performing for a culture that spits on them for showing up. Men are no longer willing to play the villain in someone else's script. They are reclaiming their masculinity quietly, not in nightclubs or coffee shops, but in gyms, careers, businesses, and personal growth. They are building lives where they don't have to beg for female validation. And here's the red pill truth. Masculinity was never toxic. Weakness is toxic. Dependency is toxic. But real masculinity? That's the backbone of civilization. Modern feminism tried to kill it, but all it did was drive men underground, where they are learning to thrive without seeking approval from a system that demonizes them. Reason number 5, men realize their value. For decades, men were told they had to earn a woman's attention, that they were not good enough as they were, that they had to buy the dinners, pay the bills, chase, pursue, and prove themselves over and over again just for the chance to be chosen. But something changed. A lot of men finally woke up. They realized their time, their money, their energy, and most importantly, their masculine presence is valuable. It's not free. It's not something to hand out just because a woman exists. See, women are not the prize. Men are the prize. And men are realizing this in ways that cut deep. A man who works on his body in the gym is not doing it for validation. He is doing it for himself. A man who builds his wealth is not doing it to qualify for a woman. He is doing it because he refuses to depend on anyone. A man who invests in his mind, his business, his craft, and his peace is not chasing approval. He is building a kingdom. And when you understand your own value, you stop throwing it away for breadcrumbs of attention. That's why men are not rushing to approach random women anymore. Why would they? Why risk humiliation, disrespect, or being treated like a disposable option when they know they bring something real to the table? A man who knows his worth does not chase. He attracts. He doesn't beg to be chosen. He chooses. This is the shift women never saw coming. Because for years, they believed men would always line up no matter how disrespectful, no matter how demanding, no matter how ungrateful. But now, men are stepping back and saying, "You don't validate me. I validate myself." And that terrifies modern women, because deep down, they know the attention, protection, and leadership of a strong man is rare. And when men realize their value, suddenly women are not the prize anymore. Men stopped approaching, because they finally understood that they are the catch. So brothers, the next time you feel pressured to man up and approach, just to feed someone else's ego, remember this: the strongest man is the one who doesn't play by broken rules. He makes his own rules. If you found value in this message, hit that like button, subscribe for more stoic wisdom, share this video with brothers and friends. Stay strong, stay focused. I will see you in the next video.